Hello, everybody. I am Skip Alzheimer. Welcome to the AV Geeks Lunchtime Streaming Show, where we watch old 16mm films and other stuff. That was something from the National Archives, made by Ford Motor Company, talking about boll weevil eradication, which was a big problem, I think, with cotton, is what I saw. Here is a early trailer for a cereal. Not breakfast cereal, but a theatrical cereal. Episodic little short things that would be shown before a feature film and would be part of a big cavalcade of stuff, of great theatrical stuff you would see when you'd go to a movie. This is for Flash Gordon, I think, Goes to Mars. And what I like about this, like I like with a lot of trailers, it has all the best bits in it. There's none of this boring, like, blah, 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 exposition, blah, 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 exposition. It's all, like, action stuff. So here it is. And this is part of the National Archives as well. It's fascinating, though. Enjoy.
You are privileged to bail out now if you wish. Yes, huh? What? I'll get it open. Keep an eye out there. Why does not the sacred gong sound the final note which completes the marriage ceremony? Great God, Teo is displeased! Put your tiny hands off her, and you grab him!
You and Dale get back in there out of range. We'll try to hold them off.
Hurry before they get through.
The clay in that wall, it seemed to come to life. It turned into a man and it ran back into the shadows.
Oh, don't be silly.
What?
It's one of the death squadron right on our tail.
Man the gun, Flash. I'll try and get him into position for you. You got him, Flash. Direct hit.
But the Clay King has told Flash Gordon the secret of your power.
The secret of my power? He wouldn't dare. Where are you taking me?
To the Clay people.
Look, Doc, we're heading straight into the beam.
Yeah, that was epic. Just have, 30 minutes or even 15 minutes of just that, just the outtakes. You don't even have to have anything else. It doesn't matter what the story is. Just explosions, spaceships spinning out of control, fist fights, weird shots of aliens, all that stuff. That's what I want. I don't want anything else. Don't fill it in. Although, as pointed out in the comments, a Queen soundtrack would not hurt. All right. I love Flash Gordon the movie, by the way, the 1980 version. I saw it at the right time, and it just was like, yeah. It is super corny, but I really love it. All right, Biomes. This is the introductory film I was supposed to show you before we were supposed to show you all the other films about biomes. So here it is. Enjoy.
A biome is a community of living things that occupies a large geographical area. A stable community whose composition of plants and animals is primarily influenced by their success in adapting to a particular climate. Because of different climates around the world, there are a number of major biomes. This is an introduction to them. Two major factors determine the location and nature of the Earth's biomes. The first is light. The sun's energy provides the power for each biome, while seasonal changes in temperature and day length regulate the lives of its inhabitants. The second factor is water. Water's abundance and seasonal changes in its availability determine which plants and animals can live within a biome. The Arctic tundra, the northernmost biome, is a level, treeless plain. The tundra is found in the northern regions of North America, Europe, and Asia, fringing the ice-covered Arctic Ocean. Here, solar energy and water are both in short supply. Water locked up year-round in a thick, permanently frozen layer of soil called the permafrost blocks the roots of plants, so tall trees that need deep roots cannot grow here. Only a few animals live here year-round. 2 layers of fur insulate the muskox, while lemmings stay active under the snow and depend on the insulation the snow provides. In the tundra's brief summer, annual flowers rush through their life cycles, blooming and growing seeds within a single month. Increased food supply attracts migrating animals like the caribou and many shorebirds and waterfowl. For a brief period, the tundra is full of life, but the approach of months of cold and darkness will limit the number of animals that can survive here. Immediately south of the tundra here are the largest continuous forests in the world. They form a belt across North America, Europe, and Asia. Because this biome is south of the tundra, conditions are different here. There is no permafrost. Winters are shorter and the growing season longer. These trees create shelter for year-round residents like the moose and for other animals that migrate here in winter. In spring, melting snow and ice feed the rivers and lakes that make possible the vast stands of coniferous trees. Because there is a very small range of habitats here, there are fewer species of animals and plants in the coniferous forest than in other kinds of forests. But to the south, in the deciduous forest biome, there are many more habitats for a greater variety of plant and animal species. This biome occupies irregular areas in the temperate regions of the world. Here, the growing season is longer. Precipitation is more abundant and evenly distributed throughout the year. The branches of trees here spread a canopy of broad green leaves. Translucent and widely spaced, they allow light to filter down to other plants on the forest floor. Deciduous trees grow leaves in the spring, keep them through the summer, drop them in the fall, and stand bare in winter. In the deciduous forest, all life is governed by the change of seasons. In the tropical rainforest, as in the deciduous forest, trees also spread a canopy of broad leaves, but these trees stay green all year round. This biome is found in scattered regions near the equator in Central America, South America, Africa, and Southeast Asia. Here there is very little change in day length from one time of year to another. Every day is a summer day, with plenty of light and warmth. There is also plenty of water, since rain falls almost daily. Because of the rain and sunshine, the growing season lasts all year. A greater variety of species of plants and animals has developed in this biome than in any other. More tree-dwelling mammals inhabit this canopy than in any other forest. In some tropical areas, the rains are seasonal, causing a dry season deciduous forest. But in some tropical and temperate regions, there is not enough water to support a forest. In these regions, the dominant plants may be grasses. Grasslands are found on every continent except Antarctica. Vast open plains feed two kinds of plant-eating animals. Some, like the wildebeests of Africa, are grazers who feed off the grass itself. Other plant eaters are browsers, like the African dik-dik that eats twigs and shrubs, or the giraffe that eats leaves from the tops of the few trees that grow in the grasslands. The movements of these herbivores are governed by alternating wet and dry seasons. Sharing the grassland with the herbivores are lions and other carnivores. Their eating habits allow the scavengers to survive. While rain in the grassland is seasonal, rainfall in the desert biome is much less predictable, and there is much less of it. Global winds have created two bands of desert, one above and one below the equator. In the desert biome, only a few inches of precipitation fall in a year. Not every desert is sandy. Some are rocky or mountainous or barren plains. In all deserts, there are extremes of temperature from day to night. Desert plants have adapted to the extremes of temperature and the scarcity of water. Cactuses, for example, store water in their stems. Desert animals have also adapted. They get their water from their food, seeds and other plant parts. The hottest places on Earth are the deserts at midday. Except for the hottest periods, many cold-blooded animals are active in the daytime. But most warm-blooded animals rest or sleep. This conserves moisture and helps them avoid overheating. In the cool night, when temperatures can fall below freezing, many small warm-blooded animals come out of their burrows to hunt and forage. The desert biome, like the other major biomes of the Earth, is a distinct community of living things, but no community is unchanging. And so the borders between the adjacent biomes are not distinct. For example, grasses often grow along the edge of desert areas. Similarly, a few stunted trees grow in a transitional zone between the coniferous forest and the tundra. Human activity can also produce changes that affect plants and animals of a biome. When habitats are destroyed, some species may become endangered. Major changes in one biome can cause changes in others. For example, large parts of the tropical rainforest have been cut down in recent years. Without these millions of trees to absorb carbon dioxide, increasing amounts of the gas in our atmosphere may accelerate the greenhouse effect and cause the warming of our planet, with future changes that are hard to predict. The fact is that all biomes affect one another and the plants and animals that live there. All biomes are united as part of the Earth's biosphere. All contribute to the number and variety of life forms on Earth.
It's funny you went to the Pauly Shore route, Biodome. Two stories related to that. First is that we scanned and digitized a bunch of stuff related to the Biosphere 2 project, which was what Biodome was based on. Lots of fascinating footage in there that was featured in a documentary, which I can't remember the name of it. Is it Spaceship Earth? But, yeah, story 1. Story 2 is the day that Pauly Shore called me. So I was helping somebody with some stock footage representing their collection, and they said, yeah, I got this request, and I gave them your number. And I was like, oh, okay. And they're like, you're going to call you tomorrow. And I was like, great. Do you know who it is? It's like, yeah, it's Pauly Shore. Pauly Shore is doing a documentary about himself and is looking for some footage of L.A. and wants to talk to you about it. And I was like, because his reputation is not great. And I never was a fan. So I was like, all right. So the next day he calls. He's like, hey, buddy, which I guess is one of his catchphrases. I don't know. I don't know enough about him. But anyways, what it boiled down to was he loved the footage that we had, but he was unwilling to pay anything for it. He just didn't want to invest anything in it. So I said, well, this is what the deal is. Let me know. Let me know what your budget is. And he never called back. So there's your Pauly Shore story. Yes. Okay. What do we got here? Well, that was not long enough. Okay. So this one is a news magazine program that was a very popular format in the 70s and 80s and 90s. And this is made by the U.S. Information Service, I think. And this is straight up propaganda, but it's espousing American culture, the stuff that we love about American culture. So here's Vision episode 72. Enjoy.
The country that gave us hot rods and hula hoops has a new fad. Skateboards. They look as if some mad inventor decided to combine skating and skiing. Skateboarding started off as just another toy. But what made it into big business was the discovery of a new type of plastic called urethane that allowed the skateboards to go faster and maneuver more easily. That's when the wheels really began to roll. With the speed and flexibility of the new wheels, every child on the block began to act as if walking was obsolete. The dangers of skateboarding on city streets brought about dozens of skateboard parks where safety equipment can be rented. Like ski slopes, there are runs for beginners and half pipes for advanced, and bowls for variety. As in competition ice skating and skiing, there's freestyle, where you invent your own tricks. In just a few short years, these youngsters have raised a pastime to the level of professional sport. Practicing to enter a skateboard competition, this young man is polishing his freestyle routine. Speeds of up to 60 kilometers an hour, the racers hurtle down the concrete slopes in a race against the clock. At those speeds, you've got to be a wizard on wheels to miss all those cones. What started as a fad seems to be capturing the imagination of youngsters around the world. It would probably not be much of a surprise if the little boards with wheels turned up in the Olympic Games of the future. A world without man-made works of art is as unthinkable as Earth without its natural wonders. Many of the world's most treasured antiquities are slowly being destroyed by industrial pollution. Modern technology caused the problem, and it may also have provided a solution. At the University of California at San Diego, perfecting ways of using laser light beams to restore works of art. While using a laser to make three-dimensional pictures of decaying statuary, he made the astonishing discovery that light from his laser gun can clean marble and stone.
Now, the reason lasers can be useful in art conservation is that they can produce very concentrated beams of light so that you can achieve a very localized interaction in a particular location. They produce very short pulses so that there isn't time for the heat to go into the material and damage it. And finally, they give you a light that is monochromatic, a single color. And the single color that can then interact selectively with one particular color of material that you wish to remove. The ruby laser is activated by what is called a flash lamp. This is a hollow quartz tube that's filled with xenon gas. The function of the laser is to convert non-directional white light into a very highly collimated, intense beam of red light. And this is accomplished by a ruby rod. This ruby rod is a circular cylinder, and the chromium atoms in the ruby absorb the light that's emitted from the xenon gas in the flash lamp. What you do in the laser is you control the emission of light, and the way that you accomplish this is by putting mirrors at the end of a ruby rod. And this builds up just like something that you're quite familiar with, the chain.
Conventional methods of cleaning and restoring art are much too slow to keep up with the rate at which the world's art treasures are decaying. By training students in laser art restoration, the doctor hopes to arrest that decay. Dr. Asmus simply lines up on his target, a valuable bust of Julius Caesar, and fires. The intense heat of the laser beam boils off built-up incrustations, but reflects harmlessly off stone or marble. He and his assistants are discovering just how versatile a tool the laser is. The laser works extremely well in small areas such as the stone capitals of arches. For larger surfaces, Dr. Asmus is developing a different system of cleaning. He plans to cluster a number of glass lamps filled with xenon gas at the top of a crane. He can then sweep over large areas, cleaning several feet per blast of light. The hollow quartz tubes filled with xenon gas transform diffuse light into intensely coherent beams, much as the laser does. Experimenting with different wavelengths and intensities of light, the laser can be adjusted to clean different colors and textures. Light from the laser gun can even be fine-tuned to clean priceless paintings. This archway in Florence, Italy, the left side of which has already been cleaned, is a dramatic illustration of the doctor's handiwork. Rare books and manuscripts that might otherwise have been destroyed by age and pollution can now be restored in record time. Thanks to Dr. John Asmus, art restorers the world over have available a new tool in the battle against pollution. Almost daily, front-page headlines describe a failure of man or equipment that has resulted in death, injury, or property damage. Why did it happen? Who was responsible? What went wrong? It was to answer questions like these that Failure Analysis Associates of Los Angeles was formed by Dr. Alan Tettleman, a university professor of metallurgy, and Dr. Bernard Ross, a mechanical engineer. Dr. Gerald Gardner, a New Zealander, is a consultant in human factors. Assisted by colleagues from allied fields and top university graduate students, the scientists probe the reasons why things fail. They have investigated everything from automotive parts to scuba gear to bridges and airplane crashes. Why did a boom from a crane snap off, hurtle to earth, and kill a man? A man died because this piece of metal failed. And like a team of highly trained detectives, they mean to find out why. Was it metal fatigue, an overload, or a fatal human error? The results of their investigation may well determine whether there was negligence involved and what can be done to prevent such an accident in the future. Dr. Ross looks at the overall structural view. He is a specialist in reconstructing accidents. Before this investigation is complete, the failed part will be sketched, photographed, measured, even the very atoms of which it is composed will be examined. Dr. Tettleman begins the first in a series of microscopic examinations of the fractured crane boom. He'll be looking for the degree of corrosion and searching for the telltale signs of the initial failure site. Each step of the analysis must be photographically documented. To determine the toughness of the material, the scientists conduct an impact test, ever increasing the weight until failure occurs. The specimen of pipe being placed in the field of view of an electron microscope has been carefully sliced and polished to reveal its microstructure. Somewhere in this micro world, magnified from 10 to 50,000 diameters, are the clues that will reveal the solution to why the pipe failed, why a man lost his life.
1 out of 20 cases is an accident truly related to improper manufacture or a defect in fabrication or a poor engineering design.
The test results reveal that metal fatigue played no part in the accident, nor was it defective manufacture. The crane had been severely overloaded, and that's human error.
Yes, well, over the past 10 years, we've probably been involved in over 2,000 accidents, and we certainly have an understanding as to how many are mechanical, metallurgical, and how many relate to human factors. I would say that overall, 85% of all accidents do involve a human operator or some error or difficulty that has been contributed by the operator himself.
Failure analysis demands not only superb scientific training, but an inquisitive mind and inductive logic. Since a certain number of accidents are inevitable, the scientists at failure analysis have their work cut out for them. What went wrong is a question they'll be trying to answer every day.
Okay, on stage for Rita's closing number. That's Rita, Floyd, and Animal, please. On stage, on stage. Okay? Everybody ready for that closing?
I get it.
Don't
I get it.
answer that
I
phone,
get it.
Fozzie.
I got it.
No,
I
Fozzie,
get it.
do not answer that telephone.
Oh, but Kermit, all these terrific, funny things happen when I do answer it.
I'm aware of that.
What's up?
I'm aware of
I
that,
get it.
Fozzie. Is there no end to this running gag?
Not puppets, not marionettes, and certainly not people. The Muppets are a happy combination of all three.
Well, I guess that puts an end to this running gag.
Yeah, and also to all the incoming calls.
Big Bird, Cookie Monster, Oscar the Grouch, appealing Muppet characters that children around the world have come to know and love on television's Sesame Street. The father of all these zany characters is Jim Henson, a young man who has become one of the foremost puppeteers in the world.
You got Simon sound ready?
Ernie, along with all the other Muppets, was born in Henson's fertile imagination.
Oh, wait a second. Oh, okay, you're feeding your cow. And then what happened?
Yeah, well, then I came along.
At his New York workshop, Henson and co-puppeteers use a mirror to help rehearse a Sesame Street sketch.
Yeah, my meow.
Your cat?
Up a tree.
Up a what?
A tree.
What kind of noise does a tree make?
Rustle,
Okay.
rustle.
Very good. Okay, and then what happens, sir?
Some of the Muppets require 3 hands to operate. This keeps puppeteers falling over each other's feet in the beginning, but it also provides the characters with much richer animation.
No.
The fire department. That's who you call. The fire department, yes?
Yeah, right.
Call the fire
They had a
department.
big ladder, and they climbed up the ladder and got my meow out of the tree.
That's a wonderful story, sir. I'm glad to hear it. Thank you for coming by.
Thank you for listening. It's really helped telling it again.
At his office on Manhattan's Upper East Side, Jim Henson supervises a variety of Muppet projects.
It seems to me that it might be better to use the little guy Harvey Muskrat for that part. If we're going to make that change, I have to get that to Don right away, because he started a very...
Besides educational programs, Muppets star in industrial films, television specials, and their own weekly television series, The Muppet Show. Muppets pop up in a variety of forms, in books, records, toys, and games.
Why don't I give you mine, and you can follow...
In the workshop, a permanent staff of 8 bring Muppet characters to life.
It's like the elderly, but it's lovely.
New Muppets are always being created and old ones rebuilt. Henson oversees the construction of each Muppet, testing for ease of manipulation and adding his distinctive touch here and there.
Make regular shoes out of them, but they'll be little.
Did you know when you sit here looking at him, you sit there with your teeth out? Did you? Are you aware of that?
No, I guess that's what happens because his teeth are sticking.
Henson continually experiments with internal mechanisms and remote control devices to further animate the Muppet characters. For Henson, Muppet making means combining free thinking and creative discipline.
As the puppet takes shape, it changes and evolves into something totally unlike what was ever designed in the first place. Then also the puppeteer himself will come in at that point, and then they add a whole new dimension, which just comes from his personality and the kind of personality he lends the character.
The gradual process of creating the distinctive voices and personality traits of Muppet characters begins with a script run-through.
But you never... In the distance, the sound of an approaching motor car. 2 beer cans fly down and land at Kermit's feet.
Huh. Unfortunately, you'll be seeing more of them. That was a bunch known as the Riverbend Gang. Like Ma and Emmett and Frogtown Hollow and Waterville, they're all part of Emmett Otter's Jug Beyond Christmas.
Sometimes it appears that the Muppet character is taking over the Muppeteer.
Yeah. That whole... Totally canatotic.
Gee. It's very lizard-like. Yeah. It's exactly the way lizards move, which is neat.
Hello, Dumpling.
Wow, my friend.
Great, Chuck.
Oh, right here, man.
We have a concert tonight.
What? Yeah, sure we do.
If you get here,
I get nervous.
I get nervous.
Look at that, my top fell off. Oh, dang. Boy, this has turned out to be better than I thought. One old mother was mother of us all. One old woman was mother of us all. Something like that.
Not bad.
Ain't I seen you on TV?
Wait a minute.
You look familiar.
Perhaps you've seen me on educational children's television.
Jim Henson has elevated puppetry from stiff wooden figures to joyous caricatures of human nature.
Code 3 fire alarm, 1213 East Red Cedar.
Code 3 fire alarm, 1213 East Red Cedar Circle. Keep 1, engine 1 respond.
What might have become a devastating fire in any other town will likely be stopped in a matter of minutes in this community, because this is the Woodlands, a brand new town near Houston, Texas, that the residents claim is the safest in America. The reason for this is that every home in the community is wired for two-way communications. The heart of the system is a central computer that electronically sweeps each home every 6 seconds for signs of trouble. If an alarm has been triggered, it is instantly detected here. The computer has a memory storage unit that instantly recalls and then prints out pertinent information about the source of the alarm. The terminal unit in each subscriber's home flashes the code for the type of emergency that exists: police, fire, or medical. The monitor board at the central computer station identifies the source of the alarm and types out the name, address, phone number, even the medical history of the citizen in distress. From the time the computer is triggered, until a vehicle is on its way to the scene is less than 30 seconds. Over 4,000 reached in 2 to 3 minutes. Because of the quick response time, there has never been a loss of life due to fire in the 2 years that the Woodland system has been in existence. Fire prevention is a big part of the program. Department representatives check home and business sensing devices on a regular basis as part of their effort to educate the community. Many residents of the Woodlands also have intrusion detection systems that are directly tied to the central computer. A sheriff's car can be at any home in the town within minutes. The Sheriff's Department educates residents of the community about preventive measures effective against attempted intrusions. In a medical emergency like this, seconds count. A medical alert alarm has been installed in every home. The alarm is instantly transmitted by the computer to a teletypewriter that prints out location of home, residents' names, medical history of persons living there. The same information is simultaneously transmitted to an ambulance. The call goes out for trained medical volunteers who are on standby.
Medic 1, EMS volunteers, Lisa Dossett and Gloria Dossett.
Medical alarm.
Notified by a paging device, the volunteer rushes to the scene of the emergency.
Yes, 413.
Elapsed time from alarm to arrival, 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Quick response time, trained medical technicians, modern life support equipment, and citizen volunteer participation make residents of the Woodlands feel a lot more secure in an emergency. If for any reason the community hospital cannot handle a patient, they are taken by helicopter to a hospital in nearby Houston, Texas. A bonus of the cable system is two-way communication during town meetings. As the size of cities has grown, getting together to discuss and vote on various local issues has become unwieldy, sometimes impossible. The community of Woodlands wanted to avoid that, and they did. Now all town meetings are televised via the cable to every home in town. If for any reason citizens can't attend in person, they can watch the proceedings from the comfort of their home. When it is time to vote on an issue, the push of a button gets the computer's attention, and then another button casts the vote. Through the innovation of modern technology and citizen participation, the residents of the Woodlands feel secure in the safest town in the land.
Yeah, that was great. So as I said, that was a news magazine program, and it was episode 72, which means that there's at least 71 more episodes. I think we've shown 1 or 2 in the past. Definitely 1 we've shown. So I'm going to keep an eye out and see if there's more that we can watch, because, man, what a great slice of life that was. Holy cow. I mean, they're not all going to have Jim Henson on them, but skateboarding, I mean, great. That was really, really awesome. So there was a film I was going to show, but it's way too long. It'll put us way over. But anyways, I wanted to say thanks so much for watching. And basically, the reason I can't go long is because I have to go to the archive and do some stuff related to the renovations. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about the renovations. So they have poured a new floor in the bottom of the basement. They're putting HVAC down there, so it's going to have its own climate. There's going to be moisture things down there to control the moisture and humidity, which can be really bad for films and has really been problematic for us. And the problem is that the space is smaller. It's going to be bigger than what it was because of the way things are laid out, but it's going to be smaller than what I need because upstairs is going to be dedicated to something else. So I'll probably still have to have storage units, but I'll be thoughtful about it and try not to be so expensive. But one of the things that we're trying to figure out is, like, how can you guys help us? Because we need help. Because at some point, maybe in a month, we're going to have to start thinking about moving stuff back into the space. And that's a very physical thing. The other thing is we have to think about shelving, because some of the shelving that came out of that space is not going to go back because it is incredibly rusted, might be too tall for the space now. And so we are rethinking the idea of, for those of you that are remote, like, how can we have you help us and support us? I mean, certainly you tuning in every day has been wonderful, because that's helps us with our mission of getting the films out there in the world. But how can we get you to help us move all this stuff back? Because ideally, once we move the stuff, most of it back, then we don't have to pay those rental fees, and then we can pay towards the loan that we acquired to build that film vault space. So that's one of the things that we're doing. The other thing, though, is we might want to do a fundraiser to either help pay for renting vehicles to go back and forth, or also pay for new shelving. And we had talked about the Adopt a Shelf campaign, and we're still kind of playing with that idea as a way to kind of think about, yeah, if you donate X amount of money, then we put your name on this little plaque, and then those films that are on that shelf, which would be random, are the films that we make available over a period of time. And every time we show a film from that, we on the show, we say this was from such and such a shelf. But we need more ideas about, like, how to do this so that it's not a lot of overhead on our behalf, like on top of the overhead of bringing all the films back in. And I look forward to suggestions. You might be saying some in the comments, but I would love if you emailed me at skip@avgeeks.com and help me brainstorm this. Logistically, it's a lot of stuff, and it took a long time to get everything out. And I want to be smarter about moving things back in, and knowing where everything is when I move it back in. So those are things that my brain's kind of percolating about, but also, yeah, that's what we're trying to figure out. So we're ending early today, but we will make up for it by showing an insanely long film some other time. And this really amazing one called on your own preparing for standardized tests. I know you're excited to see that, so that might come up tomorrow. We'll see. But in the meantime, thanks so much for tuning in. I appreciate your eyeballs. If you like what you saw, hit the thumbs up. Subscribe. Somebody gave me $10. Thank you, Nathan. That was via the Super Thanks button. That's a great way to support us. But also, you can support us via patreon.com/avgeeks or ko-fi.com/avgeeks. Those are other great ways to support us. And just being there, watching, and telling other people about what we did, well, bam, I appreciate that. So more tomorrow. Again, if you have some ideas about how we can raise some funds or get people involved in schlepping, thoughtfully schlepping, I'd love to know. Email me at skip@avgeeks.com. Everybody have a great rest of your day, and we will see you tomorrow. Everybody take care. Bye-bye.